The U.S. Defense Department has spent over $1 trillion on the most cutting-edge robot technology, deployed overseas for swift victory against America's deadliest enemies. And now, Sowell Robotic Products is here to make that technology fun for the entire family.
Ho, ho, ho!
Introducing RoboSanta Plus for the upcoming holiday season. With a vocabulary of over 90,000 words, a full range of motion, and built with military-grade construction, RoboSanta Plus fully replaces your local degenerate mall Santa, keeping you and your children safe.
Exclusively this weekend at Midland Mall and TW Bonkers.
You like the attire? You like the background?
I do. It's looking very festive.
I think I told you we were talking about this a while back about how the horror Christmas jumper scene it's not really popping off. There's not really much out there.
I disagree. I think there's quite a few.
On the Christmas horror. The horror Christmas jumper scene.
It's specific Christmas horrors. Yeah.
Yes,
No,
those, yeah. Because we tried looking and they were pretty naff.
Yeah.
So I went the other direction where I went with jazzy, very, very. To all you audio listeners who can't see this, I'll put a picture up on the old Insta, Twitter,
Yeah.
and maybe the TikTok, which is the _Dreadcast, of this jazzy, lovely shirt. It's silk, by the way.
Very nice.
It's silk. Of these happy chappy pumpkins with their little witches hats on.
Witchy pumpkin.
You know, so I figured, okay, it feels a bit Halloween-esque, this shirt, which is close to Christmas. And if I mix it with the Santa hat, it all kind of blends into this nice cocktail.
I think it's festive is the word, Tom. Festive.
Yeah. And then the lights.
And then can we talk about the lights? Festive lights. There are some festive little twinkly fairy lights there.
Now, every week I plan to add more to this.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week I'll get all the tinsel up, because you've got to have tinsel.
That's good.
Now, speaking of that, I have a question to ask you regarding Christmas.
Okay.
Where do you stand on Christmas tree types of lights and how your Christmas tree looks?
I do not care.
Does it? Okay. But if you had to choose, do you have it like so your tree has been thrown up by Christmas? It's just bleh. Or it's all organised and white and pristine, and I think I know the answer out of the two of them.
See, I like both. To be quite honest, I mean, I remember like as a kid growing up, like my mum, her tree, there was always a theme, a colour scheme, and quite ordered and stuff. When we did our tree last year, we haven't got one up this year yet, and I don't know if we're going to because we're away for Christmas. So
okay, I understand.
We'll be sort of taking it all down by the time we come back. So I'm not sure that we're gonna do it. But last year when we had it up, my partner took charge and she made it all very nice and ordered, and there was a theme. But I've got very fond memories of like my grandma's Christmas tree just being like all the decorations she had on there. There was, apart from them all generally being sort of Christmassy colours, there was no real rhyme or reason to anything. It was just all on. And I love like tacky Christmas decorations.
There we go.
Like I saw like the Christmas hot dog, just for no reason. It's just a little like, well, probably not ceramic, but plastic glittery hot dog with a Santa hat on. Like, yeah, that's top tier Christmas decoration in my opinion. I was looking at some nude Mr. and Mrs. Claus decorations the other day on Amazon.
Excuse me now, what are we talking about? Hello.
They were little claymation, little clay naked Santa people.
Was everything sculpted?
Incredible. I mean, covered up. They were keeping the decency with like tinsel and and hiding their bits and pieces. But yeah, you know, I'm all for a little bit of like Christmas tacky. I think there's definitely should be a place for that. So, which is why I'm not allowed to decorate. This is why I'm not allowed anywhere near the tree.
See, I'm all on board with that. I feel like I never used to be into Christmas. Let's just sum that up to family issues, which you get past when you get older and you don't have to see them as much. It's great. And now I've sort of grown to the appreciation of. It's like, well, it's one time of the year. Fuck it, just Let your decorations explode onto the you fire the Christmas tree shotgun that's just exploded.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just have it all in a box and just tip it on the tree and whatever lands is That's exactly how I'd do it if it was up to me.
And then you get. I don't like the trees that are white lights. I mean, these just because I have them. The ones behind me, I would much prefer big, obnoxious coloured lights if I could, you know. But what the trees that are like white lights, white snowflakes, silver baubles, white and the star, like it's too organised.
Yeah, it's too clean, too pristine.
I don't also know if that's coming from like a artistic mind or artistic background. Not autistic, artistic background. It could be both. I don't know.
Both are available.
I'm not sure. It could be both. Yeah, you gotta be. I think you gotta be creative with it. You gotta jazz it up a bit.
I mean, at the end of the day, each to their own. You know, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. But I do have a little soft spot for a little bit of chaos, a little chaotic-y, random Christmas. Yeah. And I think that's why because it comes from my grand's tree was always just.
It's the grandparent stuff, isn't it?
It will have been like, you know, what, 40, 50 years worth of like, collecting things and nothing matched, and it was just a load of random stuff.
And a lot of the decorations that were hung around the house, you had like that star that would fold into itself.
Those plastic cellophane.
Yeah, it was always a sheen.
Chains that thing.
Yes, it was always like a sheeny. It always had a gloss effect, like it had a shine to it, like a cheap plastic shine. I don't know if this is very much a British thing. I don't know if Americans or other countries that do celebrate the holiday of Christmas have these types of decorations. I don't know.
I feel like those collapsible cellophane chains, streamers are definitely British. I feel like they're 100% a British thing, and you know. It's like a general rule of life that if you go into a pub, a certain type of pub, but if you go into a pub any time of the year, you will see just a stray little piece of tinsel or one of those little ribbony bits just still drawing pinned into a corner of the ceiling where they've not quite been able to get it down.
Yeah, you've ripped the rest down and the others just stayed there. Yeah,
there's always just a random little bit. It's a fun game. Next time you're in a pub, just have a look, see if you can spot the leftover little bit of Christmas garland that they've not quite removed. It'll be there.
If you can, send it on into our mailbag at thedreadcastpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll talk about it here on this fine podcast.
I want the name of the pub, the location, and how much a pint of Guinness costs in there, and we'll just do a little sideline thing.
And we'll know where you're from in the country if it costs £10 or £2.50.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I brought that up, and do you have colourful decorations? Like lots of colour, because lots of colour is a theme of today's episode.
It certainly is, isn't it?
Which we'll get into. Una memento, but firstly, welcome back to the Dreadcast, which this is. I know we said we're just gonna leave the episode, but it's like a challenge now to try.
And you've got a mistake to address, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, it's an artistic mistake again, artistic or something else. It is episode 65 of the Dreadcast. Welcome back. My name's Tom. This is the lovely Aidan.
Hello.
Ho ho ho. Actually, it works better for you. You've got the beard. Ho ho ho.
I think it's getting grey enough as well.
Do you know when that Coca-Cola advert? I used to think it was 100 Days of Coming.
Oh yeah.
100 days are coming. 100. It doesn't make sense. Why is it? It's not 100 days are coming. It's holidays are coming.
No, holidays are coming.
Anyway, just reminded me about that. Episode 65. Yes, the last episode, Bride of Frankenstein. I did goof on the artwork, which I will place later on today. So by the time people are listening to this, it will be gone, and this topic will be completely pointless. But if you have seen it, it's not episode 63, and if you're worrying, oh, but I've seen episode 63. This isn't right. This episode 63 was Thanksgiving. It's fine. It's fine. It's still a brand new episode. Go check it out. It was great. We shat all over it. It was great. No, it was all good. We just disliked it compared to a few other Universal horror monsters.
Yeah.
So, go check it out. This is episode 65. Man, next year I've been trying to work out when episode 100 is going to be. That's going to be 35 weeks away, basically.
35 weeks.
Are you looking probably late summer?
Yeah, at least.
I'll start the preparations and book the party room now. I'll book the Palladium for our live show.
That's it. A couple of big red armchairs.
Man, we don't even get any mail in the mailbag. We won't get anyone turning up to that.
But we'll do it anyway.
We'll do it anyway. Fuck it.
Screw them. Screw them.
Yeah. So the segue of color, lots of color, is because of today's film, Christmas Bloody Christmas. Your
Christmas
pick,
Bloody Christmas. My pick,
which is one of the most colourful films you'll ever see. Not for the good. Before we get into Columbo, just one
thing.
I feel like we're both very busy in life at the moment, so we probably haven't got as much to bring to the table for our preamble rambling before we get into the film. But as I've said to you the last couple of weeks, I've started ticking off a few films I'm trying to catch up on for this year, and which I'll go into more detail, and maybe you will be able to too if you catch it. It's all good.
I'm gonna try and squeeze a couple in.
Yeah. Do you need us to leave the room? Are you all right? Do you want
to? No. Carry on.
Are you okay? You all right? You can feeling good?
I'll keep it off camera.
What's going on beneath the camera there? Have you got trousers on?
No.
Are you sitting on a mobile toilet, sir? So I watched Cobweb.
Oh yeah.
Cobweb.
Oh, I saw a post about this from you.
Cobweb had an unfortunate life because Cobweb is a Lionsgate film that they decided to release the same time as Barbie and Oppenheimer. In the summer. Yeah. A horror film in the summer. A horror film, nonetheless, set at Halloween, released in the summer, alongside the two of the biggest films of the year.
So it was Barben. Well, they should have tried to cash in on that instead of what were they calling it? Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer, yeah.
It could have been Barbenheimer.
Come on, I can see the cogs working.
Web.
Here we go. Barbenheimer web.
The Cobweb Barbenheimer.
Cobweb Barbenheimer.
Cobweb Barbenheimer.
I don't think it had as much hype or build as those other two films for people to know about. But
I'd never heard of it, to be honest, until I saw
exactly.
The post.
A lot of people have never heard of it. And I think it's a shame because it's pretty high up on my list of top films of the horror films of the year, which I'm not going to say where, but I really enjoyed it. It's a classic There's Something in the Walls horror film. It has...
I love that that's a subgenre.
It is. I'm telling you, it is.
I mean,
it is. There's
I'll
something in the walls.
I'll have it because it definitely is something that comes.
And then there's a knockback.
Something knocks back. Yeah.
But there's some really great performances, some really eerie performances. The cinematography that I sound very cliche going, the cinematography is great, the sound design, but these were the things I focused on a lot when watching it, when I was taking my little notes, saying cinematography is so good, and the sound design is really creepy as well. It's an hour and a half. That's always a win.
That's the peak time.
It has its jump scares, but they're implemented well.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. They're implemented well. They're the sort of jump scares that leave you hanging for a bit so to the point you don't know when they're coming.
Yeah,
which works.
that's good.
Is
Yeah. Well, that's
I had
that's the way they
some
should be done.
I had some negative points to it, which again I'll get into at some other point. But yeah, all around, good horror film throughout the year. I would highly recommend it. Again, hour and a half, not long, longer than the film we're talking about later on today.
Yeah, but I mean,
but
it felt a lot longer,
didn't it? And the other film I watched is Infinity Pool, which is a Cronenberg film. Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård. And have you ever heard Mia Goth talk in real life?
No, I can't say that I have.
She is a posh British young lady.
Oh, really?
Very posh, very high pitched. It's fantastic. And this film, she is.
I didn't know she was British.
She's basically herself in her accent in this film. She doesn't put like an American accent on or anything. It's really bizarre film, and I'm still trying to work out what happens.
Right. Okay.
It's a Cronenberg as Cronenberg goes, even though it's his son. It's David Cronenberg's son directed it. But yeah, it's really bizarre. It's good. It's good. It's really well shot, really well made. But I still have a lot of questions regarding it, which I need to do my research on. And that's kind of the problem I feel with, if you need to do your research after a film you've watched, like into what the hell happened, then the film's kind of failed on some points.
Yeah.
It's either the film or it's just me. But from what I've briefly started to read up, it's not just me. It's a little too smart for me, maybe, the film. I don't know.
Right.
But I'd still recommend it. It's good. It came out spring, I believe. And again, it wasn't really known of.
No, it seemed to have a very small, like, it was a bit of a damp squib, I think. There was there was quite a bit of hype and a bit of build up given the cast and stuff, and then it was like it came and went without any real fanfare or fuss. I'd kind of forgotten about it. I was like, oh, that looks... I remember seeing the trailer a few times and thinking, all right, this is, a lot of people are going to be talking about this. This is coming up. I'll give it a watch. And then, came and went. Nobody bothered with it.
Mia Goth coming on after the Ty West X and Pearl. Big hits in the genre. Alexander Skarsgård, I think Northman may have been his last big hit, which... obviously, the film didn't do very well, but I liked his performance in it. And a Cronenberg film, which I don't know. I feel like there were a lot of pieces there that
it should have had some pull. It should,
yeah,
definitely.
I mean, out of the two, I would recommend Cobweb 21. Cobweb, you'll understand a lot more. I would highly recommend going to see Cobweb if you can find it. Infinity Pool, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's not in the sense of it's a bad film. I don't. If you're like us, if you're really into your horror films and want to catch up with everything, check it out. But I would say if you're a casual fan of horror, you just want to sit back and watch something on a Saturday night, this isn't the film you'll want to pick up. I don't feel like it is at all. So yeah, so far at the list, Talk to Me, Cobweb, Infinity Pool ticked off. Got a couple more. I was nearly going to do The Exorcist Believer until I decided I've already watched a review on it. Yeah. And I just don't know if I can bring myself to do it. I feel like it'll be a waste of time.
See, I'll take that hit if you want.
Yeah, okay, you fine. You'll take that bullet. I appreciate that.
I'll take that one because I mean, I'm just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score and the oh God, is it actually? Oh no. I saw something then that I thought it was I read the timing wrong. I thought it was 3 hours. I was like, for 3 hours, actually, no, fuck off. I'm not watching it.
No, I've got the audio clip. I've got the audio clip of you saying it's on you now. You're taking the bullet.
No, I will. I am. I don't expect it to be good, but I am still curious enough about how bad it is.
Yeah.
and B, where they've gone with the story and how they've tied it into the original. I'm enough of a fan of the
patriarchy stopped Ellen Burstyn from helping her daughter. Okay, that's all you need to know.
Oh, it is nearly 2 hours.
What a load of bollocks!
Yeah. I will tell.
Speaking of a load of bollocks,
I mean, it can't be worse than some of the other shit I've watched for this.
Right. Hang on a minute, everyone. He's making accusations now.
No, I'm not. There is definitely films that we've agreed have been awful that we've done on the podcast.
No, I've loved every single film we've watched. I'm 100%. Mate, my Blu-ray's on its way. I don't know what you're on about.
Of course it is.
Speaking of on its way, Santa has posted something on his way to you.
Oh, really? Okay.
I cannot wait for next week's episode. Oh yeah, you're not allowed to open it until next week.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I need to see your face.
The postal service around here is a bit atrocious at the minute. So I mean, just keep your fingers crossed that it actually arrives for next week. Because
surely as long as the postman stays on his bike while he's rolling down the hill with his Hovis in the left basket and the parcels in the right, going wee, right? Surely if he doesn't drop anything or fall off his bike,
if he doesn't bounce out of his basket over the cobbles,
yes, or hit a horse and cart on the way, yeah. Down here we have things called motor vehicles.
Have you got a festive stab vest for this year?
What's this stab vest?
Yeah, well, you're not far from London and all the knife crime, etc., are you?
Hey, no one would stab anyone wearing this. They'd be asking where you got it from. Anyway, your run has been Child's Play, Cannibal Holocaust, Baskin, Valentine. Huh?
Yeah.
Scream 6, Wicker Man, ugh. Evil Dead Rise, City of the Living Dead, Outwaters, fine. Yeah, okay, never mind, you win.
Look. Wait, the whole point of this was, I did say right from the offset that I was going to pick a trashy one. There was going to be a trashy one in there, and I'd not seen this. And
Mate,
I'm
gonna get the chalkboard back up for today's episode.
I don't know if it's score worthy.
This film.
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting today's episode now.
Okay.
We're starting because I assume you got anything you want to just bring to the horror table to the collective?
Not very much. Just very quick. Arcane Studios are making a Blade game, which is not strictly horror, but it's vampires. So I saw a trailer for it the other day, and it looks pretty cool. Arcane Studios, who brought us Deathloop, Prey, Dishonored, and Redfall, which was a bit of a flop, but
my only concern is that I believe Bethesda are publishing it.
Yeah. So we'll have Disco
Bethesda.
dancing.
Yeah, I don't have faith in anything Bethesda does these days. Did you play any? Have you ever played any of the other Blade games?
No. I know there's been a couple, hasn't there?
Blade 2. Granted, Blade 2 is the best Blade film in my opinion, apart from the opening to Blade 1, which is incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
Blade 2, done by Del Toro, is actually a good game. I enjoyed it when I was younger. I remember having it on the PS2. I wonder if this is going to be related to the film.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, I guess it's gonna tie in with it.
The film's been in development hell for like 2 years now.
Yeah. But I think this is more like the Spider-Man games are doing really well, so let's snatch up there's a Wolverine game on the way.
Yeah.
We've done the Guardians. I think this is just let's start pumping out some more superhero games, because there's been some good ones.
Let's start to oversaturate this market now, like we've done with movies. Let's go for the video game market now.
I think that's more than likely what it is. But Blade is a very cool character and should definitely get some more love and some more stuff out there. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick mention to that. The only
mm.
other thing is we have been in our house. We've been rewatching the Inside Number 9 series
Oh
that
yes, I remember
Reece
you like that.
Shearsmith and
Yeah.
Steve Pemberton have the former League of Gentlemen, still League of Gentlemen, the League of Gentlemen members.
Yeah.
They're sort of horror. Again, horror adjacent. There are definitely some strong horror themed episodes. Every episode is a little standalone story usually with a bit of a twist or something unique about it. Yeah, I'm almost certain I've talked about it before because I am a big fan. So we've been rewatching that, and we watched the live episode, or what was the originally broadcast as a live episode last night. It's called Deadline, and it is by far the scariest one that they did. Lots of sort of fourth wall breaking stuff about essentially the studio that they're filming in is haunted. And it is absolutely terrifying. I've seen it three or four times now, and it still is by far the creepiest episode. So shout out to those guys. And Series 9 should be on its way. I think late spring, early summer next year, which will be the final series, rounding it all off. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, just been having a rewatch of those guys' material. We've actually rewatched all the League of Gentlemen as well just recently. So
You say scary. You felt generally a bit at times, a bit scared.
Oh yeah, it's creepy as hell. Yeah. Like I said, some of them are more horror leaning than others. And of the ones that are horror stories, they're not all particularly scary. But the live one, Deadline, is it's awful. There's some really creepy, chilling moments in that. It's one of those. There's a lot of background stuff.
Okay.
You know, sort of because there's a lot of shot with CCTV camera or supposedly CCTV cameras.
Yep.
So you don't really see things, and then on a second watch, you might see a face in the mirror, or there's lots of background things. Very creepy. Yeah, check it out.
Okay.
If you've not seen
it. Okay. It's on Netflix, right?
Definitely BBC iPlayer. I think a lot of it was on Netflix, but I don't think they had the entire series up to date on Netflix. Okay. But definitely BBC iPlayer. It's all on there.
Okay. Yeah. Good shout out. Good recommendation. I'm fairly certain I've seen it advertised a lot, so it's like it's a show that's not a show that's doing well.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of the, if you're a fan of like their stuff and their humor anyway, you'll get a kick out of it. Yeah. And yeah, like I've got a lot of positive stuff to say about it because it's quite unique, and they've sort of really made a strong effort to do different things. So there's episodes. There's one episode that's almost silent. There's no dialogue in it at all.
Okay. There's
one episode that is entirely written in like rhyming couplets. It's like a Shakespeare play, and everybody rhymes and stuff in it. So there's lots of like unique storytelling in it. They mess around with like the time, the chronology of episodes and things like that. So yeah, it's I think there's probably an episode for every one because they're all so different, so unique. It's it's a great show, and there's a lot for horror fans and film buffs and thriller fans as well. It's a good show, good series.
Cool, good recommendation. There we go. There we go. Lovely. However, something you wouldn't recommend
is this week's offering.
This week's offering
2022 Christmas, bloody Christmas. Yeah, I absolutely. So when we were talking about this, our Christmas picks, we did decide to do a good one and a bad one, a serious one and a cheesy one, and this was definitely my pick for the cheesy one, and it delivered, I would say.
Hmm. Hmm. Did it?
I mean, there were bits of it I liked. There's a lot of it I didn't like. Mainly the characters. I couldn't abide most of the cast.
I nearly turned this film off about halfway in because I was so fucking annoyed of their fucking dialogue that they kept saying fuck every time between fucking this and going to this fucking store. There was no fucking snow when there was a killer fucking Santa that was fucking killing everyone. They were so fucked. I was just stop saying fuck, please.
It was terrible, wasn't
please
it?
stop saying fuck. I am losing my mind here.
Really, really trying to be like, because they're record store cool rock fans, but it was just the worst kind of stereotype. And
it was horrendous.
Dialogue was awful people that don't exist in real life. Nobody talks to their friends like that.
Nobody talks like that.
And then, to be honest, the main character, Tory Toombs,
played by Riley Dandy,
is the most over-opinionated, knobhead I've ever had the misfortune to listen to. Nobody would be friends with her in real life because everything you say, she says the opposite. You're wrong. If you've got a black cat, she's got a blacker cat. If you've been to Tenerife, she's been to Elevenerife. She's absolute utter
she's a topper.
Gobshite.
Yeah, she's a topper. She has to top everything you've said. All your opinions. She was unbearable.
Yeah, she really was. Really, really was.
So this film is basically a mix between Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the Terminator.
Well, that's what it was pegged as. Supposedly that was the pitch. Imagine Silent Night, Deadly Night, but the perpetrator is a Terminator.
Now,
and
one of my first
got
issues,
rejected.
Yeah, well, now we look what came about from it. One of my first issues was when you pitched this film, went to look at it, looked at the poster. That is the problem with a lot of these shitty little, like, rushed out horror films, B movies. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the posters can be really misleading, but really great. And I looked at this poster, and it's actually a really cool poster.
Yeah.
I like the look of it. It's pretty straightforward. Evil, robotic killer Santa with a bloody axe. Very colourful. It looks good. But you look at his face in the poster, it's robotic. You know, it looks like androidy, crazy-looking robot. It's not that in the film.
No.
It is a man dressed up in a Santa outfit trying to do the robot.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, he's just acting robotic.
Failing to do the robot. 87 minutes. Good runtime. It felt like, again, like I said, the first half was just, it was split into two halves, this film.
Uh-huh.
First half, just unbearable dialogue with obnoxious people.
Yeah.
Pretty art design. Very colourful.
Very colourful,
and then
lots of neon.
The second half is basically kill, murder, kill.
Yeah.
And you get basically, and you get to a point of why won't you die? Why won't this end?
Yes, there's a very heavy leaning on that sort of. The killer comes back one last time. I think they kill it 4 times, I think, before. In fact, I'll just read you what my notes are, so at the end. Robot clinging to the back of ambulance, goes through windscreen, trapped by a car, she blows it up. Lots of small slow motion effects. It takes far too long to finish off the robot. She holds up in the record shop, and the damn robot is still alive. She kills it with a sword as everything goes all slow motion and synthwave again. Oh, it isn't dead. Sprinklers work. Oh, wait, no, they didn't. Definitely overusing the fake out. Electricity, that did it. Yeah, sometimes they come back again and again and again and again and again, and yeah, it definitely outstays its welcome.
Yeah, like I said, this film is two halves. The second half is all the killing, and there's not a huge cast in this film, but the cast we do have pretty much get killed off very quickly, and it's left with our knobhead, the final girl. I don't care. You said it now. She is a knobhead.
No offense, Miss Dandy. I'm sure you're a lovely person in real life.
No. Her character.
Yeah.
Which is Tory Toombs. What is Tory Toombs?
I was looking at, obviously the only Toombs that sprung to mind was the X-Files character, and I thought, have they shoehorned a lot of like references into the character names? But no, they hadn't. She just had a really rock and roll name for no real reason other than I guess somebody has to.
She's about as rock and roll as rolling a rock down a hill.
I mean, Vic said this. My girlfriend said this as we were watching it. She's like, "I've never, ever, ever met a girl like this. Like, she's not believable." As
no, not one bit.
A female character and really as a human being. I mean, so obnoxious.
Maybe she's a robot too.
That could have been the twist for the sequel. I feel like as well it was just the writer wanting to show off some of their like musical snobbery knowledge, because all of the dialogue was like talking about such and such's album is seminal.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, there's a section where it's Tory Toombs and is it Jay?
The friend zone friend who
did
all the work and got nothing in return.
Well, it's not strictly true, and I've got a comment to make about that as well. But they have this discussion about bands who cut their hair and then release the terrible album, and it's just like Metallica's mentioned, and then they release Load, and it's like everybody hates Load. Everybody hates Saint Anger more. So like you're working on some really outdated Metallica music. Facts.
I mean, I was really struggling to. I haven't got notes on their conversations or their whatever the hell they were talking about, because I was so focused on trying not to focus on them saying fuck all the time.
Yeah, it was very.
I would love to do a count. In fact, I'm gonna edit this in. I'm gonna find out how many fucks are in the first half, literally up until they have done canoodling in bed and Santa's here is on the prowl to kill. I'm gonna count how many fucks are in that first half, and you'll see how bad it is.
It is every other word. It's like teenagers that have.
It's like a child wrote it.
Yeah. They've been told they're allowed to swear, or they've managed to escape their parents. They're hanging out with some older kids and they're trying to impress them by just dropping in as many swear words as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. The dialogue is terrible. They are awful. And not really very much makes sense. So they're working in a record store. They're shutting up for. Is it meant to be Christmas Eve, or is it just around Christmas time?
Eve.
Christmas Eve.
How do you say before that? Actually, it was one of my favourite parts of the film. Right before that, at the start, were the Christmas adverts.
Oh yeah, it was very reminiscent of Scrooged, with like.
Yes, yeah.
Bill Murray's like the TV pictures, but yeah, we had like Santa the concert live, and Santa it was just the cooking with Santa, and it was all these various different TV shows.
And then the robot Santa. That's does it say in the advert that it's been made by the US Defense Department?
Yes, it's a robot. It's essentially a robot that's been designed for the US military as like a robot soldier type of thing, and yeah, it was recalled from military use, but now it's available as a animatronic Santa.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed a bit of an odd thing. So yeah, it was like sort of been repurposed and rebranded as an animatronic Santa.
Yeah.
That just so happens to one of them just so happens to be in this small town.
Yeah. Just happens to be there. Yeah.
I mean, it is very much like portrayed as like small town America.
There's no one lives there.
No one lives there. They've got a massive record store though that seems like the coolest place on earth. And then that toy store is big enough to have an ice cream parlor in it.
It's huge.
It was like
huge.
It was absolutely massive. There's sort of two of the stores that we see in this supposed small town are like rival anything that like a big city would have to offer.
Yeah.
It was really random. But yeah, they leave the record store and they hook up with their friends in the toy store for a bit of after hours partying, and specifically their friends want to have sex in the toy store after hours.
Our main lead, Tori, she's constantly talking about she's looking to go hang out with this new guy she's met, and then then her friends let her know that he's actually not who he seems to be. Basically catfished her. He's got a family and kids and whatnot. And her colleague is trying to swoop in there with Bola Jack to try and hang out with her on Christmas Eve and hopefully get his leg over. It works in the end. But the four of them end up hanging out in this toy store, which we only get introduced to. There's a tall guy that we see at the record store. It's like a friend. He's buying a he's a partner of the girl that's working in the toy store, and he's buying her like sort of a last minute Christmas present. And it's like, we'll see you later. But yeah, we get very little screen time with the friend. If I'm not even sure what her name was it Lana? It's going to be the case, isn't it? I don't know what it's called. I don't know who they are. Lana, Lahna.
Yeah.
And GA.
Yeah, they're having a little party, and then
aren't they just? She looked pregnant?
Oh, I don't think I'd looked too closely, to be honest.
I mean, in the sense of it looked like her top or whatever she was wearing was really baggy and looked like there was a bump at the front.
Oh, maybe.
And then, I mean, it obviously doesn't matter because they're killed off within the next 5 minutes. But I thought at that point, is she pregnant? Because then she goes to do a line. She goes to just whiff a line off the table.
I mean, it could be that the actress was pregnant and they were trying to hide it. And maybe the character's not necessarily meant to be pregnant.
Possible.
But yeah, so Tori and her friend Bob bugger off to the local dive bar.
Yeah.
Leaving the other two to get a bit raunchy in the Santa chair in the toy store. And then the robot just comes alive.
That's one of my points. Why has it come alive? Tell me why, Aidan.
Well, this is the thing. It's alluded. We're told that the military they've been recalled from military service due to some like sort of malfunction or error, but there's no information given on what that is. So apparently the problem is that they can just randomly turn themselves on and go on a killing spree. That seems to be what it is. I was. I picked the reason I picked this movie was because it was giving me strong. I watched the trailer and I thought it's strong as sort of. I know what they were going for. They're going for that sort of 80s classic slasher vibe. I thought, the robot is a nice twist. Maybe it'll be a bit of a chopping mall situation, and. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's the thing is, Christmas horror movies fall into two camps. It seems you've got the killer is Santa in some way, shape, or form, either a psychopath dressed as Santa, the actual Santa being evil, or it's a robot in this case. or it's Krampus. Santa or Krampus seem to be the two sort of biggest camps for Christmas horror movies.
I wanted to bring that point up actually with you about what do you do if you want to make a Christmas horror film and make it unique.
Well, I mean, make Santa a robot.
Well, yes, it's very unique, that's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, this is about my other pick is the Advent calendar, or Advent or whatever it's called, which I picked solely on the fact that it looked like so it was a silly and a serious one, and I thought Advent looks more serious, but also never heard of a haunted Advent calendar before. That is a unique take on something Christmas related.
Is that genuinely what it's about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like a ridiculous premise, I realise, but
a little bit.
But it's certainly framed as being more serious than this. I don't think it's meant to be like a. This is very much supposedly a comedy horror.
Yeah, I mean, like even something like Black Christmas, it is a basic slasher, but it's set at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not so much using the themes of Christmas. So, like, if you're trying to come up with a Christmas horror film and you're trying to use somewhat themes of Christmas, the Advent calendar, the Santa, the folklore of Krampus, like, what else is there that you could really latch onto to use? I don't really know. You'd probably have to go down maybe the religious route or the more folklore route of what things happened in the past, because there's not really much in the modern day that you could really be unique with.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
What do you think out there, folks? What would you do for Christmas horror film? Let us know in the comments of wherever this gets posted.
I would. I just saw we wanted something a little bit different, and so anyway, it seemed to fit in that sort of cheesy 80s vibe.
It did.
It didn't quite hit the mark. It's not anywhere near as fun as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be chopping mall with the Santa, essentially, and it's not.
You know what? It doesn't fall into the Antrim Outwaters category. I will freely admit
Thank you.
And I'm not saying it's the worst film ever. I'm just saying I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have hoped to. That's all. You know, I know what it is. It's an 87-minute long, cheap to make B movie with very mediocre acting. Effects weren't bad. Sets were good. Art design was good. Lighting, all that was okay, but dialogue was awful. There were a lot more negatives than positives, but it wasn't dog shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said when I finished it, I mean, Vic was like, is this not finished yet? Is this not finished yet? And I was like, no, the robot keeps coming back alive.
No, I'm sorry, no.
And then they keep insisting on doing slow motion bits as well, which isn't helping.
Yep.
But when it finished, I said, I was like, it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I will not be watching it again. And I don't think I'd recommend it.
No, I couldn't.
Like, yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, what if you want to watch a movie about a killer robot Santa, or watch something about a killer robot Santa? Futurama Christmas specials.
Oh,
with their robot Santa.
Santa's here.
And just watch the police station scene from Terminator as well. I think if you just mash them two
just watch
together,
Terminator at Christmas.
or just watch Terminator at Christmas.
Just watch Terminator at Christmas. That's all you need to do. Terminator 1 specifically, because there is a scene towards the end of this which is pure Terminator 1.
Well,
the
it
end
is.
of Terminator
it's the
1.
police station scene, isn't it? And
the crawling after her. Yeah. It's
that as well.
Mad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it is. Like I said at the beginning, this was originally pitched as Silent Night, Deadly Night, but the killer is a Terminator, and that was the the comment I read was like, and that was the basis of the idea that was developed further, and it's like it's not. it wasn't developed further. You made Terminator 1 with.
You just made it.
Yeah, you just made Terminator 1 and put up some Christmas lights and had
a
And
lot of
Santa.
Christmas lights. I mean, yeah, the lighting is aggressive at times. The neon
is.
lighting, it's also very unrealistic, the amount of lighting in this film.
Mm.
The neon lighting. I mean, people have their Christmas decorations up on the outside of their house, but for them to shine through so aggressively to other buildings.
It's literally, there is neon lights. Absolutely. I'm watching the trailer now again. And
I didn't watch the trailer. I'm curious now to see, does it give a better impression of the film than the film itself? I'm going to have a look myself.
It makes it look a little bit more fun, a little bit more cheesy. Just can you? I've got a question for you. Can you explain to me why all the police officers had big mustaches?
Midwest. I'm going to assume Midwest.
I don't
Just,
know.
it's a look.
All the men in this film have like elaborate facial hair, which I can't, as a bearded man, I can't say. You know, as we're both bearded men, I can't say that I'm against that. But all the police officers look like James Hetfield.
Yeah. So does the director. Have you seen what the director looks like?
No, I haven't.
Who I believe has a little cameo in this film. Because this is one of those films that's like he has to have a little part in it.
Okay. Oh yeah, he looks very, very heavy metal.
Right, I'm gonna watch this trailer.
I mean, that's what it is. It's a Killer Santa movie written by a Kerrang reader.
Subscriber.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, you know, there's definitely worse things out there, but yeah, I'm not. It didn't deliver what I was expecting, I think is fair to say, and it's not as fun. I mean, some of the effects were good, the kills were good. There's a lot of people being sort of cut in twain by axes. We've got a particularly graphic neck break. What else did we get?
They kill a kid.
I was very pleased that the child was killed, which is not a sentence I ever thought I'd say.
For film purposes, folks, everyone out there, disclaimer, for film purposes, the child is fine and safe.
I mean, he was a really obnoxious kid. He wasn't at all.
Yeah.
But they set it up, and there was this sort of like standoff moment where, you know, the kid is like, "Oh, Santa, you know, it's you. And what presents have you got me?" And he starts sort of digging around under the tree as the Killer Santa approaches him. And you think, you know, they're setting it up for he's going to get saved at the last minute, or, you know, the robot's going to not kill him because he's not a viable target, or there'll be something like that. But nope, chops him good.
Real good.
And that's actually the murder that Tori sees, where she and sort of sparks off her being really involved in it and knowing that
I have problems with that.
Something's going on.
Huge problems with that, though. But just a bit of context as to why the kid gets killed. So the film again, two halves. First half happens within the town where there's no one around apart from everyone in Tori's life. Basically, there's no one else around. Mm-hmm. They clearly just got 1 or 2 nights to shoot on this street because they utilized this street a couple times in the film, and they were like, "Quick, go, midnight, go, shoot, everyone, go, get it done." Once they're done in the town, they then move on to Tori's home, which is a huge home which she shares with someone. I'm not sure. I think her sister's there.
A sister, wasn't it? I think, yeah.
She's in it for a cup of coffee. This film. And across the pathway or road, there's another huge house, which she alludes to her neighbours, which I don't think she gets on with. Mm-hmm. This is where the kid lives, with his parents. And the parents get offed first by the Santa, because the Santa follows Tori back to their house, while Tori and her colleague, employee, because she owns the store, employee are getting down to business, cooking burnt nachos and whatnot. So Santa's followed them back, somehow, slowly walking. And he goes over to the other house. He probably, I guess the robot gets the wrong house. I don't know how a robot can do that.
I mean,
seeing as you knew how to follow. It doesn't matter, okay? Stop reading into it too much. So he goes to the wrong house and massacres that family, and that's where the kid comes involved. The parents are dead, and the kid comes downstairs. Here's a commotion, looks at his presents, and Santa chops him up.
Yep.
Tori sees this across the road, but all she sees is just this Santa figure. She doesn't just see it happen, and instantly she's like, "Oh my god, he's killed them! This Santa's kid." You jump to conclusions very quickly there.
I mean, she wasn't wrong. Deal. I think she wasn't wrong. I think she does. I think what she does see is him swinging an axe. I think she does see that. I don't think she necessarily sees the target. But that sort of sex murder scene where we have her getting down to business at the same time that the neighbor is getting killed is so overly long.
Yeah, it is.
It drags out for no reason. Just I don't know. It tries very hard to be edgy. Does this film?
It's about as edgy as Satsuma.
Like you say, I think it's like it's written by a sort of teenage Slipknot fan. That's been. Look, I was a teenage Slipknot fan, and I know exactly what I was like, and I would have 100% written something like this.
Yeah, I suppose so. No, actually, this is a teenage cult Mudvayne fan or Mushroomhead fan. The lower tier new metal.
I tell you what, actually, this could be a Rob Zombie film. This is not far off being a Rob Zombie film.
Put a bit more production value in it.
Yeah.
Put Shell Moon Zombie as the final girl.
Tori Toombs would definitely be Sherry Moon, 100%. Her employee would be a little bit sleazier.
Bill Moseley as the Santa.
It probably would be Bill Moseley as the Santa.
Sid Haig as the cop.
Yes.
No, the barman.
The barman.
Yes.
Sid Haig would be the barman. Yeah, it's not far off being a Rob Zombie movie. This at all.
I know exactly who the killer would be. It would be. Hang on. It would be. Richard Brake.
I say that. Who is that?
Oh, you know Richard Brake.
What's his? How do you spell his surname?
Brake. Brake.
Oh, okay.
Richard Brake be the killer.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Come on.
Definitely. Yeah, Doomhead from 31. Yeah.
And killer from Barbarian.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got that face. You know him. Yeah. Anyway, it would be a Rob Zombie film. Yeah.
It's very much it's getting there. But yeah, no, I do like the fact that the kid got killed. I like the fact that they didn't wuss out on that. And I also like when the child makes a reappearance and his body gets flung across the room. There is a lot and a good line of flying dummies in this movie. Bodies getting hurled around. They're quite obviously like floppy mannequins.
Yeah.
Like the kind of thing that like firemen practice carrying with those sort of weighted but
sandbags in them.
Dead weight. Yeah. And I did like it. I like the fact that they were clearly just mannequins being like flung over the tops of cars or through windows and stuff. And you could see there's always just one like limb just flailing a little bit weirdly as it flies across. That was good. Made me laugh.
Yeah, so the kid's parents, the dad gets killed first. And that's quite like, you said some of the kills are quite gruesome. Like he gets the axe in the back. He's crawling up the stairs, and then the Santa rips the axe out, and then just there's a waterfall of blood from the guy's back.
Yeah, it's like
and then
properly erupts out the back.
Really gruesome curb stomp to finish him off, and then his wife gets killed in the bathroom, axe to the face. Like it's pretty gruesome at times, but all again, like while this is happening, other house, Tori and
Yeah, what is the other
Sam.
guy's name?
Sam. No, Robbie. Sorry, Sam is his
Is it
name.
Robbie?
Robbie, yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting down to business. But you wanted to say something about this because when I was watching this, this felt very one-sided, this scene.
Well, my issue with it was, like, through their, like, preamble and banter, and, you know, when they're in the bar, the cop says, oh, I didn't know you guys were together, and she's like, oh, fuck off, we're not, and he's like, yeah. So there's clearly, like, some, like you say, there's a bit of friend zoning, and he's desperately trying to climb his way out of the friend zone jar.
She definitely said, fuck off, we're not.
Yeah.
Definitely
yeah.
fuck off.
But they've obviously been friends for a long time, and I just didn't believe that they've never gone out and got wasted and, like, had a fumble before. Like, they must go out drinking most weekends, you know, or even midweek or whatever. They can't go back, play the records, do what they, you know, basically have that. But it just so happens that it's this one night where she gives in and they have a bit of a fumble. And it adds absolutely nothing to the film.
No, nothing at all.
Because, yeah, it's just an excuse to shoehorn another sex scene in there.
You know, you could have put some sort of background, built up some emotion between them. If this was a proper film, you could have done. Okay, they had a history. What were you laughing at?
This was a proper film. Yeah, no, fair play.
Yeah. Say you allude to the beginning that there's a bit of awkwardness between them, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, it's a bit awkward. They were together in the past. They're a bit awkward. They still work together, but they do it for work purposes. But they still find it hard to hang out at times, right? She then is going on a date with this new guy. She's really excited about it. She just wants to move on. The friends find out that he's got kids and he's married. She doesn't believe them. Cut to a scene. They're out on a date. This can all go very quickly. Cut to a scene. They're out on a date with this new guy. And she then somehow discovers that he's got the kids and family, and she's all freaked out and go, "You lied to me. You fucking lied to me. You fucking fuck. Gotta get the fucks in as well. Don't forget that." And she's crying. She's distraught. She goes back to the record store to drink herself throughout the Christmas Eve night. Robbie's there in the back restocking or whatever. And so, "You all right? What's going on?" She's just absolutely distraught. He's there for her. They hug. Yeah. They kiss, and they just end up being like, just one night. I just need it for one night. I just need the comfort and the warmth for one night. That's how you build up the more emotional side of when he gets offed. That's all she wanted for that night. The comfort and emotion side, and he's gone, and she hasn't got it anymore. Yeah.
Instead, we just get childish banter for 20 minutes, and then he goes down on her while the neighbor gets killed, and it's like, this has never happened before. You've never got drunk enough before to go through with it. You know what I mean? It was just nonsense. Yeah.
And at their house, we discover that her sister is just there, with her sister's partner.
Sleeps like the dead because they were making
music's blaring.
Music blaring, and when she said she didn't get on with the neighbours, I wonder if it's because she's the problem. Like, constantly playing records at all hours of the night.
Could be.
And they've probably asked her to just tone it down a little bit on weeknights, and she's like, "Oh God, they're horrible."
The sister,
that's the problem.
The sister and the boyfriend are literally just there for a kill count.
Yeah,
they're there 100%. For fodder. That is all 100%. They are there for. One thing with this. Also, just quickly to go back to the toy store. I know we're flip-flopping here, but the toy store when her friends get killed. Mm-hmm. Very cliche point here where Tori and Robbie have gone to the bar. They've introduced the cop there. That's how they introduce him for later on.
Yeah,
no one else at the bar because no one lives in this town. They're walking back. They walk past the toy store, and the friends are being killed by Santa. And it's the very cliche point of they're walking past and they hear the screaming and shouting, hollering, and whatnot. But they take it as, they're having a good time in there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
that's been done to death. That's very classic. I mean, isn't it quite noticeable to tell the difference between those types of screams? And
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. If that's their enjoyable scream, then
yeah,
fair play. But it's quite a difference.
I'd like to think that. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends what kind of kinky fun you're into, but generally, I think being horribly murdered and being, lovingly attended to,
caressed, one might say.
Caressed. Would invoke very different sounds or noticeably different sounds, but yeah.
Yeah,
like
I just wanted to go back to that.
It's a little trope. It has been done to death. Yeah, and then so after that we get the Santa heads out on his killing spree.
Yeah.
A police officer turns up, shoots him, and then gets killed. I can't remember how the cop gets killed.
This is after Santa has come across the road into Tori's house, taken out Robbie, because he throws the mannequin. He throws the next door neighbor through the window, kills Robbie, kills the sister, kills the sister's part. Like, this is all in very quick succession. Like,
it's like happens. 3 in 1, bang, bang, bang.
Tori's left, goes outside to try and start the car. And I believe this is when a neighbor turns up. I think that is the director. I might be wrong. I don't care about checking. I don't care if it is him or not, really. I think it's him. I had a quick look at while I was watching the film because I had time to spare,
You weren't too invested.
No, he gets brutally murdered, shockingly. Then the policeman turns up. I can't remember why the policeman turns up. I don't know if they contact the police.
Yeah, I think I was zoning out.
Yeah, he starts shooting the Santa, and the Santa throws the cop or throws the neighbor into the car. Either way, the cop dies, and she stole the police car.
Yeah,
that's a felony, right? She stole the car.
She steals the police car,
and we come to a scene that really bothered me because she's using I think she uses the radio to try and call it in or whatever. Like, she's covered in blood, she's distraught, she's trying to run away from this psycho Santa, and the police that are on their way to the other. The policeman called Dad in, I believe.
Yeah.
So they got word they're on their way. They stop her. They're so aggressive to her.
Yeah.
They're so aggressive.
Like, she's the perpetrator. They stop her. They're trying to arrest her.
Yeah.
It's like, don't fucking talk to me. And they're awful.
I'm actually on her side there.
That Sheriff Monroe or whatever he's called, he was, set up as just being a bit of an asshole anyway. But it is like to the nth degree.
Well, it's like his deputy. It's not actually him. It's the
they all have the same mustache. It's difficult to tell the difference between them because they all look exactly fucking like. To the point where I looked them up, thinking, was it a band? Did they have a band cameo? Is it like the Eagles of fucking death metal had all been given parts or something? So it's like these are all very like rock-looking guys.
Officer Smith. Yeah, look, I'm going to send you a picture. I've just found both of them. The sheriff and the officer. So, sheriff on the left.
Yeah, they're identical.
Sheriff on the left, officer on the right. He's the one on the right is the one that took her in aggressively.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is that type of moustache that leads down to the sort of half beard?
Is it a Zapata? I believe it's a Zapata.
Oh my god!
Named after Emiliano Zapata, a Mexican revolutionary.
You're not going to believe this.
What?
The sheriff was in Free From Hell.
He was. We
have our Rob Zombie connection.
He was Herman Munster in Zombies Monsters as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Jeff Daniel Phillips.
We have our connection to a Rob Zombie film. Fantastic.
Yeah, the prison warden in that.
Yeah. So what you were saying? What
I
this,
mean, it
this
was in
look-
a Rob Zombie music video as well.
Oh,
Everybody's fucking in a UFO. He was in the video for that, apparently. And he's in 31.
Oh, there
He's
we
done
go.
quite a bit. And Lords of Salem. He's basically been in everything Rob Zombie's done.
Yeah. So this may as well be a Rob Zombie film in
This
disguise.
may as well be
yeah.
a Rob Zombie.
So yeah, she gets taken back to the police station, arrested basically because reasons. They're just out to get their quota for the night.
I mean, well, she stole a police car and is covered in blood, but they absolutely will not entertain the idea that she's a victim of anything other than well, she's a victim at all. She's murdered the best officer on the force and stolen his police car and gone for a bit of a joyride.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're not entertaining any idea other than she is guilty of some horrible crime.
It's pretty much from this point with the police station where it starts to really drag.
Yeah.
I feel.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
without a doubt, it is.
Ugh.
I mean, it is that Terminator, original Terminator scene.
Yeah,
in
completely.
the police station.
Yeah.
But you know, less of a body count because there's only sort of 2 officers in there.
There's no one there.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a small town. You can kind of believe that it's just like, you know, sheriff and deputy, on Christmas Eve as well. I can buy that there's not anybody else there really.
I can also buy they didn't have the budget for a more cast.
Well, yeah. But you do but it does drag. Like you say, it does really start to drag from this point on.
Yeah.
This scene in the police station, and then this is where we start the loop of
Yeah.
the robot's finally been killed. Oh no, wait, no, it hasn't. And yeah, there's a lot of crawling. She's crawling. The robot's crawling, and it's just like, come on, wrap it up.
What are the attempts of killing it from this point onwards? So rather than going shot by shot, what happens? Like Santa turns up. Obviously, he ends up. He turns up in the ambulance. I believe
He turns up in the ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah. He throws, because this is where we have another wonderful little dummy throw of the body flying over the ambulance. He's
kills both cops.
Kills both cops. He hunts her around the police station. She drives off in the ambulance, and the robot's clinging to the back.
Yeah.
He manages to make his way into the ambulance and sort of get her. She slams on the brakes and he flies through the window.
Yep.
Then she sort of, I kind of missed exactly what happened, but he somehow ends up being trapped under another car. I don't know whether she like runs over him and nudges him under another car, but she rips off some shirt, jams it into the gas tank, and lights it up and blows up his car. So he gets blown up.
Yeah.
Number one. Then it is.
Sorry. Does he? No, at the police station. Does she not taser him?
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. There was definitely a taser.
She has a shotgun as well, and she's hiding from him and uses the taser on him. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, blows up by the ambulance. Sorry.
So we get blown up by the car crash ambulance. We then get stabbed with a sword.
Yeah. Bet you didn't expect us to say that.
Just random sword. I don't think it actually is, but it looks like it's sort of a He-Man style figure statue.
It's metal. It's metal, you know.
Yeah. There's a life-size diorama of a Man-O-War album cover in the record store or something. So there's a sword handy.
Remember, Lemmy is God.
Lemmy is God.
Yeah.
She runs it through with a sword. That looks like it does the job. There's lots of fire and sparks, and it seemingly ends. Then, and everything goes all slow motion, synthwave again. Then she sets off the sprinklers.
Yeah.
And that works, but then actually doesn't work. And then she just wrenches an electrical cable off the wall, and jams it into it, and that is what ultimately does it.
Yeah.
How
well.
she does that without getting electrocuted herself,
Yeah, in theory, she actually splits the cable.
given that everything is absolutely piss wet through at this point as well, because the sprinklers are going off.
During this time, though, after the car explosion, his face is the fake skin has been damaged on his face, so you see the inner robot.
Yeah, you can definitely see the robot.
Still not as cool as what the poster makes it out to look like, though, I believe. And when he's been attacked, however, and when sparks are flying off of him, you can kind of see it's those kind of Roman candles that you get on you put on birthday cakes. You light and they just piss out sparks for a while.
Yeah.
It looks like they've just placed a load of them in because the sparks are all coming from the same place.
One direction.
Yeah. Or like they go, ready? Okay, we're gonna cut. We're gonna action. 3 seconds. Throw the sparklers in, and 3, 2, 1, action. Sparklers are already going off in the robot. She cuts off some fingers.
Yeah,
She gets some fingers cut off as well. I believe is it from his axe when he falls down?
I had an extended blink at that point, and I missed exactly what happened to her. And I was like, "Oh, she seems to have damaged her hand somehow." I hope Tom's made a note of how that's occurred, because I sure as shit haven't, and I'm not rewinding it.
What do you think? What do you think I was hoping for? I hope Aiden's made a note of that. She also damages her ankle. She slips off the counter when she's trying to light the spring. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay?
It doesn't really. No.
But this is the scene where I was talking about Terminator 1 earlier, where in Terminator 1 where they're in the factory with the hydraulic presses, and he's crawling towards Sarah Connor, and Sarah Connor's sort of trying to drag herself away. Very, very reminiscent of Terminator 1 in this. I'm trying to remember the exact ending of this now.
I mean, she just crawls out of the record store, and it's daylight, and I think they sort of do a kind of, she's laughing hysterically bit because she's survived, and it just ends. Yeah,
it says here, an exhausted and bloody Tori leaves the store and collapses on the street outside. A Christmas morning begins laugh hysterically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The still of her face. So yeah, Terminator 1 Christmas version, but not as good as
very not sounds. As good. Did you feel like it was all fake snow in this? It felt like it was all pumping out fake snow, because I was watching her at the beginning, and there's you can see where the snow's coming. It's on the left of the screen, and when it's landing on her, some of it isn't landing on her, so some of it could be fake and like a plug-in.
Yeah.
But also there's none on the road. There's none around. It's landing on her like it's like real solid, like fake snow.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of time I feel like if it was snowing, it would dissolve quite quickly. It would start it wouldn't settle as like that. No. I didn't get the feeling. I didn't feel cold watching this. You know, sometimes a winter film you could.
There was all the lighting. It must have been the warmth of the neon lights.
Nothing felt wintry really or cold about it. Especially they didn't look cold. They were walking up and down the street. They didn't look cold, or they were winter or Christmas Eve. And if it's snowing as well, it's not going to be.
There was no breath.
It's probably not going to be in California or the Mid-South. It's probably going to be in the North Midwest or the Northeast, you know, where temperatures are kind of reminiscent of what we get here. So it can be cold in the winter, but I just didn't get that feeling that it was cold. So it may not have been shot at winter time.
No, probably not.
No,
probably not. I mean, I'd not noticed it. I'd not really picked up on it. I guess there was just a bit too much else going on. I mean, the fact that the fact that it's a Christmas setting, again, Christmas doesn't really feature that heavily in it.
No. Santa.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose you could argue that that's quite a big thing. Santa's the killer, so of course it's as Christmassy as it's gonna get. But it's not like, say, with the small cast. It's not like there's people Christmas shopping. It's not like there's a scene in the toy stores open at any point and we see children like talking to Father Christmas. That would have been maybe something they could have done, is use this animatronic Santa in the movie before it goes mental, before it goes haywire.
Introduce it a bit more.
They could have had, the toy store open during the day, with kids sitting on its lap and telling it what they want for Christmas. We see it functioning normally, because we don't at all.
Yeah, but they couldn't. They probably couldn't shoot during the day because the store would be open for real life. they probably couldn't do that.
Well, in that case, you shoot it all at night and just make it a black and white movie. That's what Kevin Smith did. Worked for him.
Yep.
Just a little bit more setup would have been good. I mean, as unbearable and horrendous as the characters were, if we could have maybe seen like the toy store employees during the day with the Santa, and I don't know, they could have built up on the Christmas aspect of it a little bit more.
I agree.
think. Like I said, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not as fun as it could have been. No. I think they kind of...
The idea is there.
I think they had a vision. Yeah, they had an idea, but
the idea is there.
They didn't quite nail what they were trying to do, I think.
The execution failed.
Yeah.
A bit. And I think you're right. And like what I said with the character development, it just needed more setup and background before the film kicked in. Mm-hmm. That would have really helped it. And as far as our killer, Santa, it would have looked better. I don't know, maybe budget restraints, but not having just a guy trying to be a robot.
I mean, it could have given some eye effects at the very least.
Yeah, don't make it look like it is just human skin under a Santa outfit. Change that up a bit. Make it a robot.
Yeah.
Make it a robot, and then when he's doing the robot movements and mannerisms, it just might look a bit more authentic.
I mean, that's the thing. I didn't really get that he was doing any sort of robotic movements, to be honest.
No.
Until there was literally like lasers coming out of his eyes and electric sparks flying off him. It wasn't really that clear that he was a robot at all. But then again, I didn't necessarily want a load of cheesy whirring sound effects over his movements either.
These robots seem to be highly precious and like very kind of extreme. If they're made by the US Defense Department, why does a little
like millions of dollars of military
why does a little Midwest toy store have one of these robots?
Like the army have gone, like, it doesn't work for us. There are some issues, right? We're
missing one.
We'll sell them for a couple of $100 to whoever wants one. Like, it must be millions and millions of dollars of technology and hardware there. It's a pretty sophisticated robot with an AI and all of this sort of stuff, and it's you
could have gone down the Trioxin 245 route of it's a missing one. It's one that went missing or sold on like dodgy black market, and they just happened to grab one. Like, we got this on the cheap, they don't know it's here, but ha 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 ha. It's great for our business. It's a robot. The kids love it. Then it goes on the killing spree. Tori knocks it down. She thinks it's dead. It's caught fire, so more of the skeletons exposed, and you see property of US Defense Department. Ring this number. You could go a bit black comedy route with this. Ring this number if your Krusty doll has been default. Ring this number and just flick the switch. So she can find the phone, ring it, and it'd be like Trioxin's like, oh, you found one. You found the missing Santa. Yeah. Let's nuke the town.
I mean, that's a fair point. I think it is supposed to be. I mean, I don't know. Well, I say IMDb put it as a straightforward horror, but I think that
when does that come into question?
Well, it's certainly not. But then again, I don't ever particularly find these sorts of films scary anyway, slasher sort of things. But I think they could have leaned into the comedy. They could have gone a little bit more black comedy with it, and I think that would have been better. If maybe that's another point. Maybe that's the thing that is there. They attempted a straightforward horror, and whereas they perhaps should have been a little bit more tongue in cheek with it, and because it's a fucking silly premise to make scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So they should have. They should lean more into the holiday route.
I feel like what we've just been talking about, we've added so much more depth to this film on the thing and the way they could have done it.
I've just found this though in my musings. If you want to buy the soundtrack, you can get it on
vinyl. What?
On vinyl.
Why does that exist?
On a very, very bloody red. In fact, is that got liquid in the disc? Is it one of those? Is it one of those kind of special edition discs?
Oh wow! It does. Oh my god!
With a blood splatter vinyl.
Holy shit!
Because I don't actually want to purchase it.
Yeah, don't do. Well, that happened to me. Look what happened to me. £22 from Film Treasures. What's on it? There can't be anything licensed. It's just got to be.
There are 20.
Oh, there's a tune called "Where Are You, Motherfucker."
There is a tune, Rhode Island accent, drinking alone, Santa attacks, everyone's fucking dead, cleansing fire, Santa lives, the sword, Santa still lives, Santa dies. I mean, I think they overdid it with the slow motion synthwave.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
but
completely.
I did quite like the soundtrack. Now, not enough to buy it, but it's not the kind. I don't think it's the kind of music I necessarily listen to.
No,
on its own, but. No. I didn't hate the music. I thought it felt. Again, I think if they lent more into the sort of 80s vibe, and gone down, gone down that route a little bit more, have a little bit more of a Friday the 13th feeling to it.
It needed to be campier. It needed to be a bit sillier. That's what it needed to be, because the concept is silly. The concept is silly after anyway.
It is.
It was taken way too seriously and edgy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, about as edgy as a Satsuma. Look at this. Definitely. This is pretty cool though. I like this. This is always the way Japanese posters. I actually quite like this. It looks a bit more menacing.
Oh yeah.
Without the green glowing eyes.
Uh-huh.
Although that is more Terminator though, isn't it, with the red eyes?
It is. I mean, I wonder if it's red eyes in the film then.
It's green, isn't it? I believe because it.
Yeah, but I mean, wonder if they changed it in the Japanese edit.
Oh yeah, maybe
for it to be red laser effects.
What are we looking at here for physical releases? We could get a Blu-ray for £18, 4K apparently for £31. No. I don't want that.
I won't be getting that. There is a candy cane edition of that soundtrack as well. They've done a couple of different. So there's the Pool of Blood pressing, which is a blood red cloudy effect. There is a bloody peppermint candy, white and blood red pinwheels, and red and oxblood splatter. And then a Christmas. So there's a Christmas merge with splatter, white, red, and olive green, and then there are 100 clear, not available to the public, friends of the band and label only.
Who is this for? Who is this for?
I don't know, but the soundtrack is by a chap called Steve Moore of Zombie.
Okay.
Who he actually looks like he was in it.
Has he got the facial hair?
He's definitely got some of the facial hair.
course
But
he
yeah,
has. Of course he has.
Synth trailblazer from a highly influential synth prog duo called Zombie with an I.
Oh my word. Okay.
So they are an American rock duo from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They are responsible for the soundtrack. But yeah, there's a lot of like special editions there. Like,
Where did the money come for this?
I don't know, but one of them
Because they didn't
sold
make
out already.
much. What? Maybe there was only one made. This only made like 200,000, I think. I think it was something similar to that I saw. Yeah, it's not the worst film ever. It's hard to recommend. I think if you want,
yeah, it is hard to recommend.
Like I said, if it was campier and sillier, I'd recommend it because it's not that long. But I don't think I would recommend this because I don't want people to, especially like I said, the first half is unbearable. Nearly turned it off because of
the first half is unbearable because the characters are awful. The second half is dragged out. It's drawn out too long.
Yeah.
I think we've taken a hit here for people. Like,
I think we have.
If you are curious and you do want to watch it, I promise you'll only ever watch it once. I'd be very surprised if anybody like falls in love with this and wants to watch it on, like, this is like my annual.
No,
watch.
It's not. No,
it's not. It's not going to be Die Hard and then Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Just watch next week's film, Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's a better version of this. And then obviously cap it off with Terminator, and then you go. You've got this film.
and I think again, it just goes to show that I think for Christmas holiday horrors, people, filmmakers need to just think outside the box a little bit and branch out from.
I've genuinely been trying to think while we've been talking this whole time. I've been trying to think of what could you do for a Christmas horror film that's kind of unique. And I quickly thought to myself, what if you did North Pole, Santa's Grotto, okay? All the elves are getting ready for Christmas. They're prepping all the toys, but Santa's an awful boss. He's a lovely person, but the stress just gets to him and he treats the elves like shit, okay? And the elves just get to the point of having enough.
And
they are done. They kidnap Mrs. Claus. They beat the living crap. They beat the living crap out of Santa and kidnap Mrs. Claus. There is the top henchman of the elves. He's the leader. And they've had enough. And Santa's gonna go on the rampage to get Mrs. Claus back. But it's through the mystical land at the North Pole, Santa's Grotto, where I'm imagining it being like, it's the real North Pole, but there is a secret, like Wakanda sort of thing, Black Panther, Wakanda. There's a secret city, you could be so creative in the design of this like land. It's not humans that live there; it's just all elves, okay? But these elves that work at the grotto, and picture the grotto being like Willy Wonka sort of factory. It's just mad. It's mad. It's a mad big warehouse factory with different crazy rooms. There we go. There's my Christmas pitch, Christmas horror pitch.
I like it. Have you seen Rare Exports?
Rare Exports? No, I'm looking
at Rare Exports.
Is it what I've just described?
It touches on a little bit, yeah.
Damn.
Essentially, it's a long time since I've seen it, so I don't remember.
Finnish.
100%. But yeah, it's a Finnish movie with some miners essentially coming upon Santa sort of trapped underground, and he's basically like a demon or something that's needed to have been contained. It's a long time since I've seen it actually, so I apologize if I've butchered that.
All right, it's all good. It's all good.
Plot, but I remember enjoying it, and it's worth a look. It's a twist on the sort of traditional Santa myth, and put him almost as like a Krampus figure. There's a lot of like random Christmas films that just involve Krampus. There's one with God, what's this one? A Christmas Horror Story. It's got William Shatner in it. somebody called Dangerous Dan. that might have to be watched at some point. Yeah, we've had a bunch of them. Better Watch Out. I think that was released this year, wasn't it?
Better Watch Out.
Yeah.
Sure. The last Christmas
Oh no,
horror.
sorry, 2016. Sorry.
Last Christmas horror I saw that was properly released was the film with David Harbour and John Leguizamo. Is it Violent Night?
Yeah.
Meant to be like Die Hard at Christmas, I believe.
Yes, I still haven't watched that, and I want to.
Don't
All
worry,
the
there's
Creatures
Christmas
of
next
Stone.
year.
I mean, there is. We do have Christmas every year. But yeah, Rare Exports, Silent Night, Deadly Night don't open till Christmas.
Mate, we have 5 Silent Night, Deadly Nights, and the second Silent Night, Deadly Night is basically the first film. It shows half the footage from the first film again.
Yeah.
Garbage
Christmas.
Day.
Christmas Evil. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to go at.
plethora.
But yes, hopefully some of those will be a little bit better than Christmas Bloody Christmas, because yeah, not one I can recommend there, I'm afraid.
No, but I'm looking forward to next week now on our Christmas voyage, Christmas horror film voyage, because next week is one of my favorite Christmas horror films, Silent Night, Deadly Night. I remember going into this film to begin with, kind of knowing what it was about. Have you seen it, by the way?
No.
Oh, fantastic! Okay,
No, I haven't.
I like that. I like when we do
is
this. That it's a film I've seen and you haven't. I like
1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah.
Yeah, this it's great. It's great. I still think my top Christmas horror film will always be Black Christmas, the original.
Uh-huh.
But I'm really intrigued. I want to watch. I've never watched the sequels, the remakes. I think there's 2 remakes to Black Christmas. I want to see how bad they are. I think there was 2000.
You know what? I'm really disappointed I didn't pick The Ginger Dead Man from 2005 with Gary Busey. And there's
Gary
a few of
Busey.
There's a few of those to go at. We've got Ginger Dead Man 2, Passion of the Crust, Ginger Dead Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver, and there's a crossover with another low-budget horror character, Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong.
Well, okay. Now you've actually brought it up. I've kind of been thinking of something. 2024 is going to be the year of the Dreadcast. Okay, we're gonna get some great stuff out there. And I had a thought that something we could do that, like this, where you've got a kind of B-movie ongoing series.
Uh-huh.
Like we could end up watching the series, discuss the series, and maybe try and pick what's the best out of them, or the worst
I've got
one.
the perfect series.
Yeah,
I know right now what we'll do for that.
what's the first? What's the?
Killjoy the Clown.
You brought that up last time. Okay, well, in the new year we'll do the Killjoy series. For like an episode, we'll discuss the films and we'll try and pinpoint the. Yeah, okay. Well, it's groundwork. The groundwork's been laid for a new series. Okay, maybe I could take over after the Monsters of Universal. Perfect.
Yeah, okay.
Love it. So yes, next week Silent Night, Deadly Night, followed by Advent. Is it Advent Calendar? It's a French film.
It is a French film.
Le
yes.
Advent Calendar, and then our
the Advent
2023 wrap up of the year. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I've got much else to really get into with.
No, that is it.
Christmas.
That is it for me. I think
Not a recommendation, but if you want to go out and watch it, do check it out. But just be warned, everything we've said.
Yeah.
Please, like, we're not over exaggerating with a lot of the stuff we've said. Be warned, okay? If you're fine with swearing, you'll love this film. So yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night next week. Do check this out on all the lovely major audio streaming services such as Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, Podbean, and YouTube by searching The Dreadcast, and on the TikTok where it's now The Dreadcast Clips. And I'm going to try and get YouTube Shorts going because I think that's good for traffic as well. I'm just going to upload the clips from TikTok to YouTube Shorts. It may either be the same YouTube channel as the Dreadcast, or I may just tack on another one that's classed as the Dreadcast clips. You know, and it'll just be shorts. So do check that out. TikTok, Instagram, and X/Twitter, _Dreadcast. The schedule is up there as well, just in case you want to check it out again. Looking forward to next week, along with your Christmas present turning up. Can't wait. So yes, do come back next week for Aiden's wonderful. It may as well be a Christmas loot box, a loot crate coming to you. So yeah, looking forward to that. So do check that out next week. There's your putting them in for next week. Or you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. Yeah. Anything else? Is that it?
That's about it from me. As I say, a bit of snail mail. You can always send us a message via
Please do.
The mailbag. Yeah. The Dreadcastpodcast at gmail.com. But no, that's pretty much it from me, I think.
Go eat some mince pies and chill for this Sunday afternoon. And until next time,
stay spooky.
It's getting really tired now, isn't it?
Yeah.